Hello, my name is Christine Vatovec, and I study human health and the environment. In particular, I study the unintended consequences of medical care, and lately, my life has been immersed in pharmaceuticals. How many of you have ever taken a pharmaceutical? Yeah, pretty much everyone in our country has taken some form of pharmaceuticals because they give us tremendous benefit. They improve our quality of life in many ways, as you've seen ads. And they help us fight disease, and they improve our lives in many ways. Unfortunately, they also have a number of unintended consequences. At the patient level, pharmaceuticals have side effects. At the societal level, we have problems like we're seeing in Vermont and across the country with the opiate addiction crisis. And there are also environmental problems involved with pharmaceuticals, and that's what I will be focusing on. So because of the benefits that we have derived from pharmaceuticals, we use a lot of them, and particularly in this country. We spend $333 billion a year on both prescription and over-the-counter medications, and we use a large volume of them. So from this graph, you can see in the past 30 days, the CDC suggests that about 48% of Americans have used one or more prescription drug. About 22% have used 3 or more, and 11% of Americans have used 5 or more prescription drugs in the past 30 days. The pathway that pharmaceuticals get into the environment is through 2 routes, through wastewater. The first is disposal. When we have leftover drugs that we don't know what to do with, many people might flush them down the drain. This has been a topic of research for a number of years. And the second way is through excretion, simply because when we consume these drugs, our bodies don't metabolize them fully, and so we urinate them out, and they end up in the wastewater system. So, for example, here in Burlington, I was able to partner with the USGS, and this is a very busy graph, but what I want you to really focus in on is the red line. Anything to the right of this line shows a chemical that was removed 80% or better during the wastewater treatment process. So, of the 54 chemicals that we detected, out of the 110 that we tested for, only 8 of them are being removed efficiently through our wastewater treatment process. That means that a lot of them are ending up in Lake Champlain, and this is true of all the wastewater treatment facilities that have been tested across the country. When they end up in the environment, in the aquatic environment in particular, they have a number of effects. This is coming from National Geographic a few years ago. And what we're seeing is effects on reproduction and behavioral changes in a number of species at all levels throughout the aquatic system. And this is being seen both in laboratory and in field experiments. If we can't rely upon wastewater treatment to get rid of these things, what are we going to do? Right? And I had said before that for a long time, people have been focusing on disposal. This has been low-hanging fruit because it's a lot easier to get somebody to dispose of something properly than to change our behaviors around the way that we're using pharmaceuticals. Promoting appropriate disposal methods is the thing that has been used, but we just completed a survey of Vermonters, and we found that only 7% of Vermonters report actually disposing of drugs down the drain in the past year. So the majority of the pharmaceuticals we're seeing coming into our wastewater treatment plants and out into the environment is through excretion, which means consumption. So the question that I am really interested in engaging with people here about is, what are our next steps? How do we improve health for people, focusing on that opportunity for helping people and the planet at the same time, particularly because one little nugget to get you thinking about what you might want to talk to me about. We know that patients would trade between 6 months and 10 years of lifetime to not have to take a daily medication. So there are lots of things that we can talk about and work with in this area, and I will look forward to speaking with you. Thank you for your time.